If this movie would have came out when I was a kid, I probably would have adored this movie. I would have adored it because I read the Captain Underpants books when I was a child. So, again, if this movie came out like 14 years ago, then definitely this movie I would adore. But still, as a movie as a whole, well, let's get to it. Hey everyone, welcome to the review. Here's my review for the movie Captain Underpants, the first epic movie. Yes, this movie stars Kevin Hart, Ed Helms, Jordan Peele, Thomas Middleditch, Nick Kroll, and Kristen Schaal. And this movie is directed by Mike Caballero, and this movie is written by Nicholas Stoller. Yes, Nicholas Stoller is the guy who wrote and directed movies like The 5-Year Engagement, Forgetting Sarah Marshall, and last year's animated film Storks, a movie that I was ready to hate, but actually I didn't end up hating Storks. I thought Storks was actually a pretty darn funny, entertaining film. And now we have Captain Underpants, the movie. The very first Captain Underpants movie, yes. It even says so in the title. It does Pokemon the first movie. It's that cocky, it knows it's going to get a sequel. Yeah, I actually would be pretty cocky too, because Captain Underpants, again, is nostalgia for older audiences, and of course it's an animated film, so kids are going to go see it, and older teenagers and people my age who grew up with Captain Underpants are probably going to go see this movie, so it wouldn't shock me at all that this movie did well in the box office, and it'll spawn a few sequels and stuff, and honestly, after seeing this movie, I wouldn't mind if there's a sequel, because honestly, Captain Underpants, the first epic movie, is actually a pretty darn good film. Yes, the story of Captain Underpants is a very simple premise, a very simple idea. It's about two young kids, they're pranksters, and basically they hypnotize their principal and making him think that he's a superhero named Captain Underpants, and basically, that's the gist of the story. And yeah, this is a comedic superhero film, and yeah, it's about friendship, it's about being a hero and stuff, and doing the right thing and all that shit, and yeah, it's a very entertaining, very innocent, very likable story. A lot of kids, again, I was a kid when I was 10, 11 years old. I read the Captain Underpants novels. I enjoyed them. I haven't read a novel in 14 years, so I have no idea if those novels are still going on. But again, if you read the source material, you will know sort of the story. You'll know a bit about these characters and all that stuff. And I sort of did. I sort of remember the story. Again, it's been 14 years since I've actually read a novel, but again, I was kind of intrigued to see this movie. I didn't know if this movie would be good or bad, but honestly, I left the theater actually quite enjoying myself. Yes, I thought this was actually a pretty darn good film. Nothing amazing, but it kind of felt like a sort of Peanuts movie, kind of like, the Peanuts movie when it came out in 2015. It has sort of that same animation style, and sort of that same humor, and has sort of the same sort of messages that the Peanuts had. And the Peanuts is meant for children. Like, the Peanuts movie is a kid's movie. Adults can enjoy it too because they like the message, and they have nostalgia for it, but they also like the good storytelling and good writing. This movie is quite similar. It is meant for children. This is a kid's movie. But there is some pretty darn good writing, and there is a pretty good message in this film. And also, it's a good superhero movie, and it's actually pretty darn funny. Yes, this movie is immature at times, and it can be a tad juvenile, because again, it is a straight-up kids film. And this movie does not apologize that it is a kids film. This movie is meant for children, but adults won't completely hate themselves if they take their kids to go see this. I didn't even take any kids because I don't have any children and stuff, but I still saw this movie anyways, because that's what I gotta do. I gotta review movies, but I actually ended up enjoying it. I was actually even laughing at a lot of scenes, and I enjoyed some of these characters, and I enjoyed the story. There's some pretty good writing, pretty good direction, and again, it felt very Peanuts-esque. Yeah, again, it's not as good as any of the Peanuts TV shows. It's not as good as like Charlie Brown Christmas, and I don't even think it's as good as 2015's Peanuts movie, because that was a really great film, but the movie was still very good. It was very innocent. It was very heartwarming. It had interesting characters. I think a lot of kids will enjoy it. I think most kids that will go see this movie, if they're between the ages of like 4 and 14, I think they will enjoy themselves. And again, people who have nostalgia for Captain Underpants will also enjoy it. I do have nostalgia, but it's not just nostalgia. Nostalgia isn't enough for me to like a movie. The movie has to have good writing, good characters, good comedy, good direction, and well-executed story, well-structured story. It has to have good pacing, and it does, for the most part, have those things. And the movie is very well designed. The animation and style works really well, especially for the tone and especially for the style of this movie. Again, it's very Peanuts-esque with its animation. Like how the Peanuts movie was animated, that's exactly how this movie's animated, and it works well with the tone and its story. Because again, it's a very childlike story and stuff. It's about two kids who like play pranks on teachers and other students and stuff. And yeah, think of Peanuts meets Recess meets I don't know, Dexter's Laboratory and stuff. All those classic kids TV shows. This is what this movie is like. So yeah, I think a lot of people will find this movie appealing because they will play to nostalgia, but also kids will like it because again, it's a very heartwarming, innocent, entertaining film. And again, it's a superhero movie. It's about a superhero who wears underpants. As ridiculous as that title and maybe even the premise alone might sound, it's actually done very well. It's well directed. Nicholas Stoller is a very talented writer when he actually puts the effort in, and it is done well. The writing is good, the direction is good, but yeah, there is some things, again, there are juvenile moments and very immature moments that some adults will roll their eyes at. There is a few pee jokes and fart jokes that aren't at all funny, but the kids will love it and they'll have fun with it. And yeah, there's a couple moments that don't make sense. There are flaws with the story. Again, it's a kids movie. Like, there are flaws with the story, but again, I don't think kids won't care, and adults, I don't think they'll care too, because they'll just enjoy that their kids are loving it. And I think for an 85-minute film, I think people will be entertained from start to finish. Again, there are flaws with the story. There are some really juvenile jokes. There are some scenes that just flat out don't work. They absolutely fall flat, but I think it is well paced. It is a well directed, well written, well designed movie. I think it's a very well animated film, and I think the story is good, the characters are enjoyable, the chemistry between the two lead kids is very well done. Kevin Hart does a very good job with the voice acting, so does Thomas Middleditch, yes, from Silicon Valley, Richard from Silicon Valley, and Ed Helms does a very good job playing the principal, aka Captain Underpants himself. I thought the voice acting was good, and again, it was a well-directed film, and honestly, for a movie I didn't know what to expect, I was pretty pleased. I saw this movie, and I'm like, yeah, I would, if I had a kid, I'd definitely show my kid this film, and honestly, I would probably see this movie again. It's not like a movie I'd go run out and buy the Blu-ray right away, but it's a darn good movie, and I quite enjoyed myself watching this. So yeah, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give the movie Captain Underpants, the first epic movie, a 7.8 out of 10. So yeah, it's not that bad. I kind of liked it. I would recommend it. Go see Wonder Woman about 2 or 3 times, then go see this movie. So yeah, that was my review for the movie Captain Underpants, the first epic movie. So yeah, in the comment section below, please tell me, are you familiar with Captain Underpants? Did you read the stories? Did you read the books? Are you even at all interested to see this movie? Give me your thoughts and opinions. Comment below. Let me know. And as always, for this video, please like, subscribe to the channel, and join the dark side.